Okay, what language is this compiling? Oh, looks like a C compiler maybe? Oh, this is a reverse. Okay. Do. Lexer run. Okay. How does it return? What's the token? Where's token find? Is that a buffer? Here's token. Oh, there it is. Timeline column and stuff. Source main. Yeah, I know that. Yes, I am in the Silicon Valley. There's a lot. Okay, renderer C. I can't parallelize. I'll switch between you two. Alexa seems more interesting, honestly, because I've already looked at this array code a little bit, so I'm gonna procrastinate a little bit. So what's weird is it returns a pointer to a token, but wouldn't it want to return an array or something? Let's see. Add token equals true. And you have add token, buffer push, list of tokens, current token. So let's look at buffer. So how do you know the end? Or how does, if you call the run Lexer, how do you know the end of it? Or like when the end of that array is? A stretchy buffer. I've not heard the term stretchy buffer. Oh, so it has the length, wait. Oh, there's a header? Okay. This is bad because it does not guarantee alignment of the data. So actually I had somebody ask how to do this kind of thing like 2 hours ago. And the way I did it was I had this and then I had the data inside of this struct. And that will force the data to be aligned correctly if it needs to be. In your case, because this thing is generic, it's not quite that easy. But if your token thing needed to be, like if you had a, okay, let's say you turn these into short, then your data would be unaligned and on a 64-bit platform, and then you have bad news. Bad news. Well, the compiler will align it, but if you're doing this like pointer arithmetic in this way, then you are subverting the compiler's. The compiler tries to help you when you're saying, no, I don't want your help, compiler. I'm going to do it by hand. Bad news. Yeah. Bad news. So this is an issue. It probably won't affect you because you can, like, if this is 64 bits and the alignment is 8 or less, then you're fine. But it's still a weird, bad, nasty thing to do. But I see how you're managing that now. But I think instead of returning a token pointer, I think it'd be better to return like a buffer header object to make it clear that there is a length and a capacity, and it is an array, and it does know its size, and you need to use buffer free to delete it and all that stuff. Should I implement a queue system so people can queue their thingies? Okay. So that's my comment about the interface of Lexer run. So we got our digits, we got this classic thing. Leading 0 is base 8, right? You are assuming, well, so I assume this char Lexer, it shouldn't be called Lexer. It should be called input or something like that. But yeah, you assume it's 0 terminated, which is fine. Does too lower work with a 0? Okay. Well, I mean, it depends on the ABI, but basically, yes, this struct would be 8 bytes. What I really want for C-Ray is a proper API so I can implement. So do it. Do you know how to write bash scripts? I'm trying to learn. Yes, I do know how to write bash scripts. So while alnum, why alnum? Oh, okay, because base 16, sure. Digit plus equals plus 10, okay. Looks right. Yeah. Invalid digit and base. No. So this is wrong. Well, no, never mind. That's not wrong. Wait. If I write 1F in C, is that not valid? Oh, really? Okay. I guess you're fine then. Not sure if this works yet. Okay. You add the digit, and then you could march on to the next one. Okay. So you're not handling suffixes like U or UL or ULL or LL or L. You're also not handling float, but I assume you know that there are deficiencies. So one problem with using an alphabet like this is you might miss a letter. So we had some production software that had a table like this for checking URLs, but it had, I think, W twice, and I think V was omitted or something like that. So some URLs were treated as invalid because the alphabet table was incorrect. I'm not saying that this is incorrect, but it's a source of errors. While current token name index. Should probably do a range check here because your name buffer is fixed size. So if it gets beyond that, you should report an error that an identifier is too long. Identifier. token kind. Okay. Well, this makes the assumption that if is the first token. So what I've seen is people make an alias. They say guess they might have token underscore begin underscore keywords, and then token if is equal to that, and then they iterate through, and then they have at the end token underscore end underscore keywords or something like that, so that you can iterate on those bounds instead of making the assumption that if is the first one in this list and EUF comes immediately after that list. So just a robustness thing. So if we haven't found the keyword, blah. So why don't you break? Why don't you use a break instead of a Boolean? Seems like a break would be simpler. Stir incomp. Stir incomp does not work. If you stir incomp, do stir incomp of hello and hibachi, I don't know what hibachi means, and 1, this will return true. So I guess a better name is, example is so if I do and donut, you have your keyword here, which is do, and you're doing stirlen on your keyword, right? Oh, you're doing stirlen on the token name. So that would be, okay, so if I have if and I, well, I and if and 1, well, this would be stirlen of I. This is bad news, because this will return 0, which means that they compare correct, they are equal. So all of your variables named I would be treated as if they were an if. Or whatever, yeah, probably if, because that's your first token. So you don't want to do a stir incomp here. Or if you do a stir incomp, you need to check the lengths first or something like that. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, speak up. Here you handle strings. You're not worried about backslashes, sure. You have the start and the end, nice, nice. Stir in copy. Why using stir in copy? You should use mem copy here. Stir in copy will do things you don't want it to do. And you just want a mem copy, so use mem copy. And you're not zero terminating this. So stir in copy does not zero terminate if the length is equal to the, like if it reaches length, then it doesn't zero terminate. So you're not zero terminating your string here on this little piece of code. That's another reason not to use stir in copy, because it's misleading. It doesn't actually deal with strings the way other stir functions deal with strings. So I would do a mem copy and then put in the null terminator manually. But at the very least, you need to put in your null terminator. You got these awesome things. So that's case 2. Okay, I see. So shift. There's no such thing as not assignment. You You can't do tilde equals. Yeah, compiler don't like, no likey. So memcopy with strlen +1 won't include the null terminator because the input string doesn't have a null terminator. The end of the string is a double quote. Oh, also, if you have a if my source file is just single quote, then this will buffer overflow because you're not checking for null. You're not checking for end of string. So you want to fix that too. That's another issue. Are you there, every release? Or am I speaking into the void? Is or equal a thing? Yeah, or equals not a thing either, and equals not a thing. So you can delete those. There's no or assignment or and assignment like this. There are bitwise versions. So maybe you meant to have just and equal instead of and equal. You did the right thing with like SOR. You're missing the bang operator, the not. Oh, you have it here, but there's also not equal. You're missing not equal. I was expecting to see it up here with the equals operator. Does token case 3 not do what I think? So this is 3 level deep. So what I see is that token case 3 go away. This will parse or as that. I'll parse or as this. It'll parse or equals as this. Line 7, the or equal is not a thing. Or equal exists, but it won't be parsed as, I think that would be parsed as an or followed by a separate token, which is equals, which is not what you want. Also, the single or is bitwise, and the double or is logical. So I think you swap these unless I'm misreading it. What's a compiler in simple terms? It turns higher level things into lower level things. Things is a very simple term. So I think you got a few bugs here in your handling of these operators. Fancy code formatter. Yeah, you're missing some parsing of some tokens, and you're parsing tokens that don't exist. So you got your semicolon, parentheses, braces, square brackets. Do you have star? You do have star. Looking at my keyboard. Do you handle single quote? Like character literals? Doesn't look like it. You're not handling character literals. So that's a missing feature. Speaking of things that don't do what you expect, at least not bad as R. I have not used R. What? What does sort do? Yeah, I saw your message, KVK. All right, you can look at the VOD later. So I looked at your Lexer and gave comments on that. Thanks. Hopefully that's the feedback you wanted. The general structure seems good. I think I don't know why I have an AUF token. Maybe your parser cares about it. I think returning the token star is misleading. So I would do it differently.